G'day everyone, how you going? It's Italiano here, host of the Sustainable Creative Show. This is episode number 11 with Andy Pobjoy. Andy is a good friend of mine who I've known ever since I joined his band when he was 19 years old. And we played all kinds of gigs together and done lots of travelling and holidays, and we've been good friends. But as well as being a remarkable musician and a wonderful entertainer, Andy is also the proprietor of Piano Bar in Geelong, which is really regarded as the most fun place you can go in the region. So we have a good chat about being a creative type and also applying that to sort of business affairs. And he's got a lot of really interesting things to say about mixing creativity sustainably with business. And so I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you, Andy, for your time. I know you're very, very busy. And, stick around next week. We're going to have a chat with Emma Yarosh. A very different kind of conversation, but one that I know you'll enjoy as well, because I did too. So stick around and enjoy this one, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Cheers. Andrew Pobjoy, welcome to whatever episode this is of the Sustainable Creative Show.
Creative Show.
I don't know which episode it'll be.
Oh, that's
it'll
all right.
be close to 10.
Well, maybe I'm a member, not a number. No.
Well,
that's right.
I was going to say, like, if it's close to 10, then it will be one of the very few things I've ever done 10 of.
Oh, that's great.
In my life.
That's very good. I like that.
So,
it's very good.
We were recently in Bali together.
We were in Bali together.
For our friend Amy's birthday.
It was lots of fun.
It was really nice. Really good catch
Bit
up.
of a last minute thing to do, wasn't it?
Well,
we caught
for
up
you-
at the Brownlow thing before that.
That's right,
And
we
then
had
we
a-
decided if I didn't make it to this trip, I'm a bad friend. I
Oh,
decided.
no.
I decided that, and I was really, really glad I went.
Yeah, it was lovely, and I think you make a really good point about the bad friend thing, which is obviously not real, right? But
how many times do we miss those birthdays on a Saturday, or we don't get to that?
yeah,
Thing, the family function that you wanted to get to because we're too busy working. It's silly.
yeah, we do work in those at those times when. So I mean, in relation to this, we tend to work at times when the rest of the world is being
Yes.
sociable, and so there's just this a bit of an assumption that we don't get to go to stuff. So
Yes, and you resign yourself to it. I mean, after a good 2 decades of doing it.
but other people resign you to it too.
yeah, so we're
you
not
don't-
expecting
you
it
don't
to
get
come.
invited.
Yes. Well, you get invited as a courtesy invite, and then when you actually show up, it's like, oh, man, he showed up.
Well,
that was-
obviously, Amy's reaction when because we kept it a secret that you were going to show up.
But then it made me think, why did I have to keep it a secret? I could have just told her I was coming. It's weird, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I had a bit of guilt about that, thinking, is it that bad that there was just no chance that anyone expected me to ever turn up? And then when I did, it was like, to be honest, I actually thought I wasn't expecting myself to turn up, and it was like, you booked the ticket, but that doesn't mean you're going.
Well,
Does that make
I
sense?
missed the flight, my flight. So I mean, we were going to be on the same flight together.
But that was a traffic thing. But it's like, sometimes you wonder, has it got that bad that, I almost didn't expect myself to make it there, even though I'd paid for a ticket.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
that does speak to the reality of being someone who works as a performer, and whether you're working as a cover performer, a circus performer, anything like that.
Yeah.
And it is expected that we miss things, and
We
so
miss things.
The fact that you've been doing something for such a long time does kind of infer that. Like, I had to actually speak to my mum about 5 years ago and say, could you just invite me to stuff?
Yep.
Because I am actually often free.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
able to
Yep.
swap something or
That's
something
very true.
like that. And I had it as well working in the cinema. So I had the double whammy of I was a cinema projectionist for almost 20 years. And so Monday to Thursday, I
Out of
usually
night
did
time?
night shift.
Yes.
And then, until I was a manager, and then I
Moved
did
to
a
the
lot more day shifts. But then it was a weekend. So there's a part of that where, unless you're relatively well adjusted, I think you could easily come to resent the rest of the world for not inviting you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just being asked is very important.
Yeah.
Because you can at least, send a card or try and, shift things around and come for 2 hours or, I mean...
I think if I can at all alleviate your
misplaced
feeling
perhaps, yes.
about being guilty that you surprised Amy.
Yes.
you obviously like looked at the schedule a long time and just went, I really don't know if I can make that work.
Yes.
Because I run a business and a lot of people need me to show up to do stuff. And also because you are a performer here, you're not necessarily sure 6 weeks out
if we're going to book something, if something's going to pop up, or I'm required.
And so was a real chance. Well, you didn't know until pretty much
Imagine
3 weeks
promising
before.
you're going to go, and then
Yeah.
So anyway,
there is that great thing of like what is it? Under
promise and over deliver.
I was going to say under deliver and over promise.
I do.
Maybe that's me.
Under promise and under deliver regularly. It's maybe a man thing though, less a creative thing.
Is it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, let's talk about that in a second.
Yes.
Now, if people are still listening for the first 5 minutes,
yes.
There may be some people who are hard to believe in my world, but who don't know who Andy Pobjoy is.
Oh, I would understand that.
Well, it just, when someone has been just such a part of your life, even peripherally, like, you're always just touching base every now and then, and you're like, oh, that's right, there are people. For instance, my girlfriend, who we've only been together a little while, and she's like, so who went to Bali? I went, oh, well, Pobbers was there. And she's like, what's a Pobbers?
What's a Pobbers?
That was the question. What's a Pobbers?
What's a Pobbers?
She's like, oh, Andy Pobjoy. And she's like, what?
Yes,
right, I'll explain.
Yes, yes.
So you and I met in, I would say, 2000.
What's it roundabout then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
99.
99.
Yeah.
Because we did we did the Y2K gig.
And there was, I think Jeff Kennett was still Premier or something.
Yeah, he came to a rehearsal.
Yes.
That was weird.
And he played the guitar with his thumb.
Well,
It's always a sign of someone who really knows what they're doing.
Or someone who is
like
old
this.
school.
Old school?
Yeah, old school.
That's a technique, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought you used more than...
No, thumb.
So if you were an amputee like that, and they for some reason chopped off all your fingers, you'd still...
Oh, you still play guitar. You can flick your thumb pretty fast.
Flick your thumb?
Yeah.
What if you just had a stuff?
Well, maybe you'd get a prosthetic pick.
You could.
You could.
You could be like Captain Hook.
Arr.
Or you could
You never did that.
You get to get an attachment.
We were about to tell people who you were.
Oh, right, sorry.
So Andy and I met when you were in maybe first year uni, and I came to play in a band that you were in.
A cover band. It wasn't a real band.
And so we've known each other for almost 20 years, which is awesome.
Scary. Talking in decades.
I was going to say not enough, because I should have known you for longer.
It feels like it.
And in the meantime, other than being in a rock cover band, you've done lots of jazz type things.
Yes, which I love.
You moved to Queensland and moved back.
Yes.
You have
created children.
You've created children.
And then...
and with your wife.
Yes.
Yes. And all of those things are still a going concern. Because sometimes people get married and have kids and they're not anymore a going concern. But not for you. You were doing that very well. And have I said you've been a cruise boat guru?
Yes. So that was the big change, I think, when I realised there was a business model.
Yeah, so you went on a cruise ship and you did
I was playing in a burlesque bar in South Melbourne. And as is often the case, an agent happened to be there on a Bucks night. You know those types that go,
No, but yes, go.
People do that all the time. Yes, well, anyway. So here's my card. I said, no, I've got an idea. I'll give you my card. If you want to follow up, you give me a call. And he did. And then 3 weeks later...
You were on a boat.
I was on a boat. No idea. Like they just said, here's where you've got to be. Here's a plane ticket. You work out the rest. Got there, had no idea about anything. But then after about a week, fully adjusted to this wonderful world of a piano and a whole bunch of strangers from different walks of life. And you just play their songs all night. And it was like the perfect gig. No one's phone was working because the internet. Yeah, and the internet's just prohibitively expensive. And no one's got anywhere to go because just wake up and someone's got to work. Yeah, that's right. No jobs to do. So it was a breath of fresh air, and that was that's a turning point.
And effectively, after doing that for a little while, maybe a year or so.
Yeah, 18 months. Yeah.
You went. This works on a ship. Why can't it work on land?
Yes.
And also because you have at the time had a young family.
Didn't want to be away.
Well, they're still pretty young.
Still
They're
pretty
little
young,
kids.
10 and 7.
And you're like, well, this is really fun. I enjoy going to do this, but it means I have to be away from my family for weeks at a time sometimes. And so you went, why don't I try and do this in my hometown of Geelong?
Yes.
And planted the seeds of piano bar and watered them.
Yes.
Actually, he didn't really plant seeds and water them. He actually just rented a place and stripped it and then built the insides himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was okay.
Yeah.
And it was a great starting point. And now we're in a bigger place and we're about to open another place.
In Colac?
In Colac,
Yeah.
the small country town of Colac. Not known for its creativity.
Piano
or
bars.
Yeah. Maybe that would be a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think the story of musically inclined or creatively inclined people who live in the country who leave to go to the big city for an opportunity to do what
It's
they
the
want to do.
biggest brain drain ever.
Yeah. And you know,
Because
it's-
I think that they can't pursue a creative career in a regional area. There's this myth that you have to go somewhere where you have to. I get the study side of it,
yeah.
but I don't always understand why you're not legitimate or you're not legitimised unless you've gone overseas and you come back. Or this happens in all sorts of creative arts, whether it's in, and even
Yes,
in
it
journalism and the media. You're nobody until it's a colonial hangover, I think, really.
And I don't think it's just that. I think that is
It's a big
that's
thing.
the base, and the next thing is about getting a job. Now, it's quite interesting to be someone who works in the cover scene and then has a toe in the original music scene. And when I say scene, is I don't get to go and play the gigs very often, but I'm clearly making my own music and
Yes.
sharing that with the world. And
Yep.
people who are in the original music scene, however that may be, are aware that I do make my own music as well.
Yes.
But I don't get to go play with people very much because I have to. Well, I earn my living, at
Doing other stuff. That's
at
right.
that time. Now, what I noticed there is festivals, things, and needing booking agents and publicists and stuff like that. That idea of having someone else legitimize you, and what I found is, I'm not concerned with. I'm not saying that that's not something I won't do, and I understand understand the value of it.
Yeah, there is.
But if I was explaining to someone yesterday, I was like, I've got this limited amount of admin time because of my work.
Yeah.
Right. And am I going to spend that time trying to get other people to do things for me and to get a booking agent and stuff like that? Or shall I just make the music and the videos?
I think so, because this is the market we live in now.
Yeah.
Everything's, you don't need, imagine the time of, driving out to the gig, setting up, sound checking for the gig, and then you're playing in front of potentially I don't know how it is these days, but not
Same
very
as
many
ever.
people, and
Yeah.
they're probably your friends and family anyway,
Yeah.
if you've invited them. Making the music is the thing.
Yes.
Creating is the thing. And then with the way digital media works nowadays, I mean, you can potentially. The gig scene is what I'm most worried about for original music venues, because the scene has never been that good, especially in regional areas. But for people down here, how exciting that they can reach potentially a global audience with something that is really good that they've spent time crafting and creating. The shift is, thanks to technology, is now actually about getting a good song or a good product or something that's good. And then all you have to do is just throw it out there digitally, and people, people love a personal recommendation. If someone says how much of a good time they came here, people will notice that, and then it's the networks grow, and it builds the hype, it builds the reputation of, I've seen that, I like that person's music, I like that venue, whatever you stand for. It makes it easy to put that out there so people understand it, and without the effort of going to a gig as well.
I was kind of about to get that. So there's that level of the colonial, I need to go away to come back triumphant. Or if I'm not, I won't come back. Then you've got that level of I need to get someone else to give me a job to legit. I want to say that job, a venue to play at. What I've noticed, and the last 3 months I haven't done any Facebook Lives, but I was doing a gig at home in my lounge room, effectively, for people
who were watching
way more people than I would ever be able to. And it's also understanding where people are in their life and location-wise. People all around the world are able to log in and make a song request and say, I really like that, because they can't come in. And now the idea of needing to go to a venue. Now, I know you own a venue, right?
But the
I'm
original music side of things that's not the experience we'd be selling. We're selling the group sing-along thing. I really find this discovering new music experience a tough sell.
Certainly.
When you stumble, you can't just stumble across this amazing band anymore in a venue. You're not going to festivals completely, and that's where I think that festivals are the new venues. You don't have these iconic places where people can launch an album and have 200 people in the room, like Continental used to be, like the Basement in Sydney, or those venues don't exist.
Yeah.
And if there are original music venues, they tend to be nichey, so it's just like.
Can I ask you a question about venues? It's my observation that there are more venues than ever. Mm-hmm. I may be right or wrong, but my observation is there are more venues than ever. I'm talking obviously Melbourne and Geelong.
Definitely Geelong.
And what I mean by that, there are more places where someone who wants to go out for a drink and a bite to eat than ever before, and they're small. And the reason they're small is because of the death of the shopfront for like the retail shopfront. So all of these places that used to be on the street, little shops, are now cafes and bars. And so what that means is there's more places where people can possibly go for a bite to eat or a drink. And so technically there are more venues. Now, as a cover person, like I work a lot, right? Because those places go, we can't afford to hire a band or we don't have the space, but we can put a guy in the corner
strumming and humming.
And effectively, that's what the piano bar was in your first place. It was a little shop front that you converted, and you were in the corner. But you're obviously the way you did it, piano bar was
a little more
you're a little bit like interactive and that kind of thing. It wasn't. But I imagine too the success of that was also because it was your place.
Yes.
Whereas as most musos, like I said, are looking for a job, or artists, or actors and whatnot. Certainly, the conversations I've had with graduate, like year 11, 12 kids who haven't gotten into WAPA or NIDA. I was like, right, in which case, write a show.
Oh, exactly.
Put it on.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on. And then 3 months later, do another one. Another one. And by the end of the first year, you've got your first year that you didn't get into one of those places, you've got more experience being a creator, an organizer, a promoter than any of the people that you went that got into the course you wanted to. And that's invaluable.
You better believe it.
Because it's the hustle, and it's like,
this is the hustle, but it's any industry now, and anyone working for themselves. This is the gig economy. Why do people talk about it negatively?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's a skills-based economy. If people come to me I want to know what their skills are, and then I will come up with, all right, I can give you A, B, C in terms of work, and then if you need to go find work elsewhere, or you find this is the way it is. You come to me, I've got a problem, you're the solution, and this idea of resident gigs, or or these sort of things where it's a steady paycheck, or it's out the window in this day and age, especially when you're in the creative.
Do you think
you need to not be fixated on the one goal that you've got, because you will miss all the little shiny opportunities that are around, and there are so many hours in the day. You can spend time working on that project and then on that one, and then spend time collaborating with that person there. You don't need to put your whole life into one enormous project. And that's what creatives really get bogged down in this. I've got this vision to do something, and then they hit a roadblock, and then nothing happens for like weeks. These things, you've got to have so many plates spinning in the air in this day and age.
It is the age of jack of all trades, isn't it? And it used to be something that was frowned upon because if we go as your colonial observation, your high street was butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and now you have to be able to do all those things yourself.
But if you're the butcher, you're your social, and if you want to make more money, you're your social media manager, your customer relations, you're your HR person as well too. And unfortunately, this is the other thing that creatives don't do, particularly when you talk about agents and stuff. Like, I could never book my own gigs. I could never organise a tour. They get scared of the nuts and bolts of admin or organising things. They go, no, my strength is just to create, and therefore I could never do that. I have to pay people to do that. And then every time someone takes a slice out of it, you're left with bugger all at the bottom of it,
It's very interesting to say that today's episode that came out today was with Simon Emery, and Simon is a singer-songwriter from Melbourne. He always just makes you wouldn't know that he had a low budget for his videos, and his, you know what I mean. Like he's fastidious, and his attention to detail is way like me. I'm a like that's good, get it out. Let's work on the next thing. But he kind of seems to strike a pretty good balance between having stuff that is super high quality and being productive. The other aspect of that, though, is that he did start making the album that he's recently released years and years ago, right? So it appears that he is super productive. Well, it's a prolific, right? But he also did start this a long time ago. So I guess he had a good running start. That's what you can say. But a lot of what we talked about is the same thing about like being your organizer, and the other thing about knowing, like, having an idea of what you want, and then going to someone who says they're a publicist, and then you go, that's not. That, I'm going to pay you to do that. I can do that bit, but what else are you going to bring to the table? And often the time it's like, oh, actually no, that's what that job is, and I can do it.
There's no need to be scared of it.
Look, I am. I'm not saying, like, I know this conversation sounds like, bravado, but I am scared of all that stuff. And the reason why I kind of go along the lines of, I want to make stuff, right? And I need to focus on that, right? Because I will get completely distracted by the other thing and find out that 6 to 12 months later, I haven't made anything for ages.
The product is paramount, like we said before. That actually, but if it's good, and you know how to position it, and you can do that with focus, and you know what you stand for. So many people you talk to them and you just don't know, like, what's your brand? What are you?
I have that issue.
This is the thing, and if you can communicate that, and it's really easy for people to get their head around. Look, the perfect example is the shitty gigs I used to do, sitting in the corner of an RSL or a sporting club or whatever, doing exactly what I did here, asking for songs, and but the context was completely wrong. You've got blokes sitting in the corner, and then the footy on the television over there, and nothing's set out right. It was not in context. And then it's, Chandel, who was one of the singing waitresses that works here, we used to do a lot of duo work together, and we'd be pulling our hair out. As you can see, that's what... what's wrong with this audience? And as soon as we put it in context here at Piano Bar, it just went mental. And but now people could understand it, and that's when I think the cruise ship, the penny dropped for me, is because it was in context. People could then understand, yes, that's what it is. Yeah. And if the product was crap, even in context, it would still be a crap product. Yeah. But I think that this is where like the social media thing changes the whole thing. You don't have to like jump in your car and do 20 crappy gigs on a 25-day national tour anymore. Yeah. You can just be smarter about, right, I've got some really good stuff here. I need to put it in front of the right people. And then they need to understand what it is. Yeah. But some publicist doesn't necessarily, I have it's watched The Star Is Born, the movie. Yes. Yeah. And watching, how Lady Gaga started out as that sort of singer-songwriter thing, and next minute she's like tits out pop star sort of thing, because that's what the manager thought would be the right thing to do. Well, that's not, it's maybe what the people wanted, but I don't think that...
Well, it's what the manager wanted to give to the people.
Yeah, but he's selling, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
That's like the 1% at the top. I'm talking about the people that genuinely create, whether they're painters or whether... It's got to be quality, and then it's got to be put in front of the right people, and then they've got to understand what it is you're doing. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just you're pissing in the wind, really. Yeah, well, that's what
what is great about Piano Bar is that, and I compare it to other venues, and like you said, there's that thing happening there, and there's a pokey there, and there's the footy on TV, and the cricket's on over there.
It's mixed messages,
which is not what this place is. You walk in this place and go, this place knows what it is.
Yes, it's friendly. You get greeted at the door, and we'll probably know your name because we care about that sort of stuff, and then we'll play the music that you want to play. Yeah. So, and then it's about spending good time with friends. Yes. And forgetting that maybe you don't feel self-conscious in a place like this. You feel, and all of a sudden it becomes, I like that place. That's what it stands for.
I do quite a few gigs at a particular venue that shall go unnamed, which is Melbourne's biggest venue. You've played there many times yourself. It is everything to everyone.
Yes.
So it's nothing to anyone. You know, and the place has. Fuck it, I'll just say it. I love playing there. It's great. The people the audiences are awesome. All the time, because you get nitty gritty and you do requests for people.
You do.
And you got,
I've seen you do your stuff there.
That's my audience there. That person there for this song.
It would be overwhelming to lesser performers. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, look, a lot of people
do take it on. Rather than sometimes the best form of defense is offense.
Yep. And
you just get on the front foot and say, right, come on, I'm not getting the reaction I want from you.
Well, there are a lot of really awesome musicians that play there that don't get invited back because they're great musicians, but they're
that's sort of fourth wall sort of stuff. That's what they do. Yeah.
Now, the thing about that though, that place has got other venues as well, and it's like, oh, is this a sports bar? Is it a pub? Is it what's the brief? You want me to play pop top 40 for 50-year-old men watching the cricket?
Yeah.
Like they're asking for this.
Yes.
Like, I realise that maybe you want to create this vibe, but if you create this vibe, you can't play that on the TV.
No, you can't.
And you certainly can't put me under the TV. You know, and it's just it's that idea, like, which is great about Piano Bar, which is it knows what it is, and because it knows what it is, people know what it is.
Yes, that's
and
right.
Exactly what you were saying before about what's your brand, what do you what do you stand for?
Important.
I find for myself, if I can reflect on that, my music is I wouldn't say it's not morose, but it's it's often in a major key, but about a minor subject.
Yeah,
if
I like that.
Say. And so it's
Be a good album title.
Yeah, I think you have
minor subjects in major keys.
Well, I think maybe the next one's going to be like I'm going to actually try to do an 11-song album, like 11 keys, like in all.
Hey, Bach did that. You're pinching his art. He did that.
Yeah. But it
was the well-tempered clavier.
It's past to copyright, so
I think so.
Yeah, I don't. But one of the things I noticed about that for me is like
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. Sorry, that one in.
Tick that off the list.
Hey, let's just chuck it. This should be a dad joke every 3 minutes.
I gotta go shopping after this. Sorry.
What they say, if it ain't baroque, don't fix it.
Oh, God. My mum's gonna love this episode. Should be knee slapping in the car. But what was this about the branding thing? The idea, like I'm quite a upbeat, engaged person, one-on-one, or even just with a bunch of people. I'm quite into my own little world when I'm by myself, and that's often creative people are like that. And so my songs tend to be reflective and solving a bit of a problem that I have in my emotional life, and that's where I solve it. And I do find that there's a way of I present how I am with people, which is I'm very fortunate to be alive at this age, and I'm fortunate that I get to do what I do for a job, and I get to create what I get to create as a professional hobby, and I want to put that out there to the world. But if you listen to the song I write, it's a bit like. I'm not saying it's depressing, but it's reflective and whatnot. So when I try,
but who are they getting to know? Are they getting to know your music, or they want to get to know you first, then your music second? I think it's the other way around. I think the people are going to relate to you through your music first.
Well, do you know what? It does depend on. It
you
does depend on who you are.
Yeah, but the thing is, one song and set of lyrics can have a completely different meaning to.
Well, that's what my whole EP was called. It's not about what you think it's about.
That's absolutely.
But the thing about that, I think, is really. Something I struggle with a little bit. Like I describe what I do as something along the lines of it was like how would I describe it? I did make a tagline kind of thing. I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh,
it was good.
Was it good?
It was good, but it was sort of like a acoustic folk pop for the heavily lighthearted.
Oh,
like so. That. It's like it tells you what it is. It's acousticy, it's folky, it's poppy, and I'm a happy person. But like all happy people, we deal with darkness every day. And there's something that I've noticed quite often. Like so many things now are just they still try and create the persona, like the Bowie kind of thing. Like, it just doesn't feel. Like I do understand. I feel like it's an homage to, artists of the past.
Post that though, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah, I really don't think. Yeah, I think that's what we.
Just for anyone who's watching, there's a gentleman fixing holes in the walls at Piano Bar, because people get excited here sometimes.
Accidents happen.
It's great. Are you the painter?
Yeah, I'll be touching up later.
One thing that I wanted to point out to people is, I know I said before, like, you fitted out the original Piano Bar. You also did most of this stuff, talking like making tables and benches and like cushions and stuff like that.
Yep.
So you really are that kind of person who goes, something's got to be done.
Creative got redefined when I was about 25, when I just thought everything had to be like just arts or music. And then renovated the first renovation job I ever did, and then my dad helped out a lot. Just kind of how wildly creative building something is. Or, it can be... It can be creating, a brand, or creating, just there's creativity everywhere. It's not limited to, and I find it probably the most creative thing that we're doing here at the moment is building a business. Yeah. You've got to find creative solutions to really real.
But it's problem solving all day, and that's what creativity is, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not.
It's totally. And I find it really satisfying. Whereas sometimes my performing here doesn't, it sort of strays from the creative as to more the formulaic. Now,
right, yeah.
I like to play around with where the night goes. So that's probably what DJs feel like, like what song to play next.
Yeah.
And you're weaving a sort of, there's 6-7 hour gigs here. So you've got to keep people engaged. You can't just do one song, stop. You're going to do that one, moved into that one. So I'm finding that creative, but not necessarily the
musicality of it. Yeah.
My fingers I feel good at the moment because I'm doing a lot of playing, but I don't feel like I'm breaking new ground or anything in the music sense, but certainly from a business perspective, that's where I feel the most creativity coming through at the moment.
Well, it's really good that you're able to acknowledge or find the through line of which is creativity through anything that you do, and even in
the same principles apply as improvising jazz.
Yeah, right.
You have your little licks, or we used to call it the musical
toolkit.
bucket. You carry your bucket around.
Yeah.
But knowing what to play, when to play it, so it doesn't sound like crap, is something improvisers do. When you extemporize, that's what you're doing. And a lot of business, you don't have the answers. You just have to have a skill set and a temperament, and you have to just work it out.
Do you think there's an element with people who, when they approach creative endeavours of any kind, where one of their major handicaps is that they are comparing themselves to something else that they can see. So whether it's, I imagine, maybe it's a business that decides that they're going to have tap beer, and because the pub over the road, which is, I don't know, maybe they've had a deal with CUB for 20 years, so they're paying this price for their beer, but whenever CUB signs on a new client, they pay twice as much, and so they're going, well, we've got to do what they do, and that hampers, effectively, that's a nail in the coffin of whether that business can actually be profitable.
But sometimes it's the sense, a friend of mine used to call it the sense of the agitated ought. You don't know why you have to do something, but you feel like you're doing it just because.
Right.
But the best thing to do is ask your market, ask the people you're trying to hit up. Is this something you want? If you, I was involved. Well, I had a friend of mine who had a venue and ran it for 2 years, and then it basically closed 2 years to the day. And people were telling him what they wanted,
and he's like,
"Sorry, that's not part of my vision."
Oh, right.
And so that to me was heartbreaking, because
was his vision closing his business?
What? That's
what happened. Yeah.
If you're not listening to the people who are your business, then just because you're a songwriter and you want to write songs about left-handed banana eaters, or
Actually, there's a market for that, I'm sure. You should write that song. I bet it was going gangbusters on YouTube. Check this out.
Banana. Or whatever. Just because you think that's a thing and you've got like a unique selling position on that particular topic or that particular style does not mean that your unique selling position translates into what is
unique buying position.
Because where people are actually interested in buying that shit. And sometimes you don't know you've got a market until you do something and then everyone responds. But it's a dialogue. This thing that musicians and people, business as well, have is that no, this is my idea, and you will all like it. You will all buy it. You will. It does not work like that. If you're genuinely doing something that people respond to, you will see it.
Yes.
And then you should perhaps consider about doing, instead of compromise to yourself or to your, just do more of the stuff that people are responding to. Saying, I love that. Look at Carole King. Sorry to butt in again, but they would sit in that Brill building.
Yeah.
And the publisher would come in and say, this is when they would write songs. If they didn't sell a song, they wouldn't get paid.
Yes.
And this is like early 60s New York. So the publisher would come in and say, right, the Four Tops have put this song out. I need you to write this song again for me. And they would flip it inside out and upside down and back to front and come up with something that was same but different. And then that'd be the next big hit. Yeah. Right? The music industry is not like that anymore, obviously, and that's it could be. But in terms of like people coming in saying,
I do believe that there's a part of the music industry that is exactly like that still.
Yes.
But the gig economy isn't.
Oh yeah, but if you could see something's working, and something you do gets a good response, and this is where social media engagement again is everything. If you see them liking it, well, give them more of what they want. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, it means you're doing the right thing, and it's good for your audience because they're frothing for it, and then good for you because.
I tell you this for a fact: if I could get my dog to sit still in every music video I did, like
the dog would be in it.
Well, no, they're 10 times more views.
Yeah, well, people love dogs.
Well, my dog's gorgeous. He's much prettier than me. He's getting a haircut tomorrow. He's going to prance around like a poodle for 3 days. Yeah, but that it is interesting. There is a line though, isn't it, to draw? Like, well, I know people love my dog. Am I going to abuse that fact? And even to the point, here's something I have had a thought about for my next crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
Right. I've got someone already who's done like a bit of a cartoon picture of Sprocket, right?
That's cool.
I'm going to send that picture to a toy manufacturer like in China and get them to make Sprockets.
I've got just the contact.
Well, there we go.
So you know.
There we go. The thing is, like what I learned from my last crowdfunding campaign, which I thought was what I learned from observing others and then applied it, and it was my campaign was, I think it was really successful. Like almost. 150% of the goal, which is great.
It's awesome. It's getting tougher to do that too nowadays.
Yeah, well, I think it's getting tougher to do that because people think that people are pledging to hear their music. And what I did is every one of my rewards had something in it that wasn't about my music.
Yeah.
Right? It was, so if you pledged to this, if you got a CD, your name was going to be on it.
Yep.
So that every time you opened it, you go, I helped make this.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that was a minimum. And then there were other things that people would get that were about them, not about me, which I think is really important. So the idea about
it's got to be
a sprocket, like it was like, cute. Check out this toy that I got when I helped this guy make his record. It's way better than going, hey, I gave this guy $50 for a CD and it took 18 months for me to get the CD. And that's
where people get crowdfunding fatigue, though.
Well, absolutely. Well, yeah. If you don't deliver at least the music promptly, then
unless you're making it, you can't make it all about yourself. Otherwise, it becomes like really like I see some of those things and go like narcissism alert, like madly.
Yeah.
Like I go to myself, all right. So you could probably make that happen on your own if you decided to like financially commit to something or to a goal, or. I wonder sometimes how much about the crowdfunding campaign is about the affirmation that they gain, seeing people say, yes, I believe in you, and then it's...
There is
genuinely, if I see talent...
There's a shortage mentality in... there's a lot of creative people think there is such thing as a starving artist, and maybe there is because they are, but there's this. But you know, if you're resourceful, you can make shit happen.
Oh yes,
which is exactly what you're saying. Now that was the thing. Like I recorded and mastered and paid for all that up front. It was like, this is happening anyway, whether anyone gets into it. It just so happened that I was able to use the crowdfunding money to do other stuff, which I think really helped. Get things along the way. Now, the same thing's going to happen with my next thing. It's going to happen. I'm going to pay for it.
Love it.
And if people want to jump on board and be part of that, then
But,
amazing.
You've been writing and releasing stuff for
20 years.
And people like you've actually got people who are committed to seeing this.
What I come up with next, yeah.
I know, and that's that you just don't get that overnight. You've got to put. You done, Michael? That's lovely.
See you next time.
Thanks.
I'm going to come here one day.
You should. You love
I
it.
keep forgetting about your piano, mate.
You give me a call. You've got my.
But I thought you were still in the other one.
Oh, we're in the big one now.
Okay.
Yeah, on you, Michael.
I'm going to bring all my friends here.
That's a good thing. We would love that.
See you, Michael.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it. He's plastered.
He's not. He's plastering.
Sorry.
He's in the process of. No, Michael did the some work at the.
Is that what
original
someone
one
who
as well,
behind the bar does? Is that their job? They're
The
plastering.
Plasterers. So it's got a lot of work.
The responsible service of plaster.
Plaster.
Yeah.
We'll call it plaster.
RSP.
Yeah, see, it's RSP, CA.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Yeah, about this. There's a short. Even, and I hope I'm not talking out of school. So we're doing an Inside Zero reunion gig
I saw
on the
that.
5th of
Just
January.
popped up on my little feed. That's brilliant.
And so it's going to be at Chapel Off Chapel. So it's
That's quite good.
it's a nice venue.
The upstairs room.
The loft room. So the
It's good up there.
120.
Yeah.
And so we look at working out like ticket pricing for it, and I asked the guy. So I'm doing the admin side of it with the venue because Matt Robinson's away. He was the contact with that venue, but
of course.
he lives overseas.
Bloody royalty in Melbourne. He's achieved a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, but there's someone who's single focused and like, you know, as I said, like working on a budget. Like Matt wasn't a starving artist, but he did go to Subway every day when we were living together. He would go to Subway every day, buy a foot long, chop it in half,
and have half
for lunch and half for dinner. Like he was mega on a budget.
Yeah.
And collect the coupons and all that kind of thing, and like haggle over stuff, like, you know. But as far as the abundance thing goes, so I asked the guys like, well, how much do you I had an idea of like how much do you think we do for tickets, and there was straight away, you know, Steve and Richie were along the lines of, "Oh, just be nice to break even." I was like,
I hate that mentality,
now,
yeah.
yes, that's true. But if you start with that mentality, I don't want to make money off that night. Like I want to break even, but you need to look beyond the break even because actually things cost more than you think they do. So you're like, you can charge $15 a ticket, but $3.30 is going to the venue, and then you've got venue hire.
Wow, that's right.
And then you've got to pay for someone to do the sound. So this is like a $1,200 to $1,500 gig cost to us straight away. So we can't charge $15 a ticket. We'll be in the red. And it's a Saturday night out. So like if people are going to come, and then
this
we might
is
not,
attention. This is a thing. That,
we might not sell 120 tickets. We might only sell 60. So, you know, these are things. So
But this is where I think venues, especially publicly funded venues like Chapel Off Chapel, and they do a lot of great stuff. But there's venues in Geelong that you don't get change out of $2,000
for a hire.
For a venue hire. By the time if you want to use the facilities, you have to pay to use those, like the PA, and you've got to have ushers. It adds up.
Of course it does. Yeah.
We have a model here where we provide.
Tries to be sustainable for both the people who want to come in and the people who are running the business.
Last night we had an Elvis tribute guy by the name of Jack Gatto. Right? He's a Geelong guy.
Sounds serious.
He's actually related to.
Is he?
Yes, cousin or Uncle Mick or whatever.
Yeah.
So his tickets were $35, I think, last night. But we give the entire. Then we sold 130 tickets on a Tuesday night to an Elvis show in Geelong. So it's like thumbs up. We would never do a ticketed show on a weekend, barely even on a Thursday, because we don't need the capacity on those nights, right? And we don't see the benefit of putting something special on that's different to what we normally do.
Yeah.
People don't like variety; they like consistency.
Yes. Particularly on a night that they're usually associated with going out
And having a good time. So this idea of mixing up your entertainment, so people don't want variety. They want the same. So that's fine. They want it a bit different every time, so it's not repetitive, but they want consistency. But we give the venue to the performer and say, right, and we market it as well. They get the door fee and we get to take whatever happens over the bar.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday night. We had 130 people in, all eating, all drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people say, oh, Andy, why aren't you taking even like a 20% off the... No.
Well, because you don't need to make it work.
No.
Yeah.
And that's just being a bit greedy. And then I'm not underwriting these performances. It's mutual obligation.
Yeah.
So you will make as much money as a performer as the number of tickets you can sell. And we will help with your marketing and stuff. But doing it both ways like that means that all of a sudden I'm not trying to run around with my promoter hat on. And I'm not stressed about having $3,500 worth of band to pay for and then not enough tickets to make up for that and then having to worry that, you know. And I tell you, it gets a rocket up the band's ass as well too, because they go, okay,
Got tickets to sell.
I've got tickets to sell. And that's the 4 time Jack's been here. We've got a Matchbox 20 thing that
a
friend Lee, 4 times. We did Kate, who also is one of our employees here, singing waitresses, decided she wanted to do a Fleetwood Mac thing.
Yeah.
8 shows they sold. You know, so it just
could continue just once a month, no drama. Yeah.
She wants to give it a rest for now, but man, if we would just say, well, can we book you in for a gig? It'd be like, oh no, dramas, I'll call the band and the gig's in the diary, and then nobody markets it.
Yeah.
There's no, and then we'd end up with a half empty room, and then it would have done 1 or 2 shows, and we just go, no, it's too hard. Musicians need to, whether it's their own material or their own show or their own concept, whatever it is, really need to get on and show people how passionate they are about this thing, and bring people along with them and say, you've got to be a part of this. And then all of a sudden, the only reason these shows sell more out is because somebody sees somebody on Facebook post a video, oh, I'd love to see that. And then the hype builds for the next one. So this is where, you can't rely on a venue to give you this platform to, if you've just got to play at this place, then I'd establish my career and I'd get the exposure. It literally is a two-way stream. Yeah. And venues, likewise, can't just put a band on or a performer on and expect there to be a crowd. Yeah. It's never worked. It has not worked. It's worse now than ever.
It seems like you've got a really good mix of, the consistent things you do on the weekend, when people know what to expect from the place, and then on the quieter nights, or like a Sunday afternoon
or dark nights,
you are able to have what are effectively one-off event type things that are themed. And I even go back to you mentioned that the music festival is the new music discovery
thing. It is.
But increasingly, so many festivals are
run by the labels.
They're legacy acts as well.
Yeah. That does my head.
So like the Day on the Green, it's like there's no new acts that ever get on those kind of things, and they could and they'd be great for them. But basically, they know that we're going to run this on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah, and we're going to have a whole bunch of over 40s there, and they're going to want,
because they're all those people also got the income to spend on a $160 ticket.
But when you hear that, some of our young staff come back from the Falls or come back from Meredith, and they've got like 6 or 7
new bands
acts. So they're going, you've got to listen to this. I mean, that joy of uncovering it. Well, you used to do this when we were younger. You'd go and buy just a random CD every week, just something someone you've never heard of. Yeah. So, and you'd be panning for gold, but sometimes you'd find some bloody amazing stuff.
Only once did I
ever get a dud.
Yeah, well, I bought the James Blunt album back to Bedlam, and I posted it back to the record company.
Back to Bedlam. I thought it was Saturday.
No, I sent it back to them in Sydney with a note saying, I don't want this. This is nothing like, because I read a few interviews, and he is a great interview. He's a really interesting guy.
A bit of a backstory.
Yeah, well, he used to be a soldier. He's funny. So I read these things. What was really interesting is most of the time when you read something and you liked the character of what you're reading, or if you see an interview, you're like, I'm probably going to like this music.
Yes.
Right. Most of the time. Right. But then You're Beautiful. And I bought this album,
Yeah.
like, based on never hearing a song.
Yeah.
And I was like,
hilarious.
because usually it worked out for me.
Yeah, that was a good
Oh,
formula.
no, I got the record and just went, oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no, this is... I just got... Like, they wheeled out a really cool guy with what I think is not a great record. And it's the only time I've gone, meh.
Yes, meh. Yes.
And
This is the thing.
I thought it was... I wasn't trying to be a jerk.
No.
I was just trying to be funny. But I thought maybe I would get...
Oh, I'm so sorry
I
for you.
thought maybe they would send something back on maybe a cassette tape, or I was like, does this suit you better?
better,
Like,
yeah.
I would have loved to have, like, you know, they would
Someone
have really
else,
won.
yeah.
They would have really won me over, I think, you know.
That would have been cool.
And to be fair, like, since that first record,
Yeah.
I think he's got, like, I think his songs have really, really gotten a lot better. And also, I do have an appreciation of actually what an incredible approach to singing he has. Very difficult to sing his stuff.
Yeah, I've given up.
Oh, like,
I can
but
sing it
just
in-
moving around.
Oh,
all over
yeah,
it,
yeah.
weird
I
shit.
can't do
So,
that.
I'm not a
Lifestyle.
fan, but I'm an appreciator.
Yes.
So,
That's what it's about.
James, I know you'll be watching this. He'd be a great person
Oh,
to have a chat to about being a
yes.
sustainable creative.
Oh, totally.
Particularly because, you know, so many people hate him and the way he deals with it. Like,
Get Nickelback on.
yeah, well, they would too. I mean, I actually don't really get the Nickelback.
No.
I don't get it at all. Like, I
Why
get the
not?
James Blunt hate because I think his first bunch of songs are terrible.
But the Nickelback, you know, I've sung heaps of their songs. It's like fashionable to not like them anymore.
There was one song that was real naff. It was real, like, you know, it was like a dirty sex song. It was naff. But I mean, they're an incredible band.
I'm sure they're amazing. It's certainly my bag.
Yeah. No, not my bag at all. Like,
But
you
I
know,
don't. I mean, I could sing you maybe a couple of their.
yeah.
As a hangover from listening to radio, you know, when you're just driving along and you retain a song because it's kind of catchy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like quality goes, and
This is how you remind
what a voice too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We don't like James Blunt, but we like Nickelback.
Oh no, I like him now.
Oh, no. Oh, you like? Oh,
Yeah,
you do like
just
him now.
yeah, it was the first.
I don't know enough. I know it's the Bonfire song or something.
Oh yeah, that was all
Song.
right.
That was good.
Um,
No, but so
were you gonna say
Bonfire.
something?
No, I'm trying to think of another Nickelback song. I know.
Oh, a photograph.
Photograph.
This photograph.
Oh, that was a good one.
what a voice.
The photograph. Yeah, that's true. I could sing like that for about 30 seconds and then I wouldn't speak for a week.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm a great appreciator of
Hard to sing
so
like that.
many people who there's music I don't like.
Yeah.
Because the voice is just like how is that like Bryan Adams
Oh, yes.
does have some anthemic great legendary songs. But the voice is like sounds like your voice is going to explode in a second.
Yeah, it could go any minute.
Yeah.
You're still going though.
That's very common. I found for
Oh, does that make you feel like they want to sing it more? Because it could just, the desperation in the voice, it could just go. I personally like singers that I'm not feeling uptight, like wondering whether their voice will explode.
Well, I do as well, but
not
it's
sustainable.
stunning for me how many of the iconic male singers and female
Have a bit of a strain to the voice.
have these voices. You know, Rod Stewart,
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker, John
Barnesy.
Bon Jovi, Jimmy Barnes, Bryan Adams. You can
Even
keep,
John Mayer does a little bit of that. You know, does that sort of a.
yeah,
He's not, but it's got there's a bit of that going on there. It is.
yeah, and but you know, Tina Turner, Christina
Oh.
Aguilera. I mean, they're great
Shit,
voices,
yes,
but like
true.
shouty.
Yeah. Yes.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Beyonce's never sung a note in her life. She shouts everything.
She's very good.
Alicia
though.
Keys.
Oh, they should. Yeah,
Shout.
that's true.
Like, not that they're not great.
That's true.
Everyone I mentioned, I really do believe they're incredible voices and great talents, but there's that voice box explosion.
yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, yes.
Did he sing ever after he was a child?
He had a beautiful voice as an angel. As a child, he was.
But even,
But
yeah,
that's-
do you remember, you know, the Dirty Diana, like, it
I
was
love it.
shout,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
and it's incredible.
grabs you though.
What was I listening to the other day? It
Emotion
was-
in the voice.
Yeah, and I, there's something about, I guess, being able to do that and make that sound, and be able to do it longer than 30 seconds. Yeah. Dave Grohl.
Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of sustainable creatives, what's their trick? Is it literally that they don't actually
there
shout, but
must be.
they've got
There's
a thing
some-
where
there
they
must
get
be
to
a
a
trick.
microphone and it just sounds like they're shouting?
Although I watched Carpool Karaoke with James Corden and Sia, on Sunday night.
Yeah, well, her voice is that. Like,
Her voice is so loud. Like, it drowned out everything in the car.
but she's got that voice too, which sounds like it's going to go in a
no,
second.
it was resonant. I don't know, there was just something, her whole body was
Steven
just...
Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah. Those bastards.
I don't know how there's that clip on Facebook about John Bon Jovi getting up and singing at a wedding. Did you see that? He didn't sound particularly good.
Well, yeah, they got
It's very difficult. I mean, but I'm singing so much at the moment too, and I worry that it's not going to hold out. But you just got to sing safe.
Yeah, well, I've certainly. I mean,
We have to
I've
do it.
learned.
It's very serious.
I've
If I
learnt
lost
the
this,
buttons.
you can't communicate just playing. Billy Joel makes a gag about whenever he walks into like a hotel lobby and someone recognises it's Billy Joel. Is it like his bow tie in the corner playing the piano? He goes do 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 do, and then realises it's do 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 do.
Oh, because they play it wrong.
No. It's the same melody over and over. Do 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 do. So without the words, that song is a bit shit, really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then
the chorus.
Yeah, it's the same as the verse.
John
and then they're waiting for the da da da. They can breathe the sigh of relief when they get to the pre-chorus. But no, without your voice,
follow that. Yeah.
I'm a bad communicator musically. I can't get the message or the feeling of a song across unless I can sing.
Yeah. Well, I feel.
But then maybe I need to start doing all the singing. Maybe that's why we have people to help sing here.
Yeah.
Starting at 5 on a Friday and finishing at 1 on the same day and then that's after. It's probably not sustainable. Like
okay.
I want to do this up to when I'm 50 in about 13 years' time. I still want to be able to talk, sing, to, be able to use it. So that's just one thing. But you get excited and you get carried away, and I'm sure there's times when these singers get off stage and they're absolutely cactus.
Oh, well, John Bon Jovi's always had issues.
Yeah, it's full on, but you push it
but
that
it
hard.
sounds like he would. Yeah. I do think there's. I mean, I can sing for much. Well, I mean, I can gig. I can do 2-3 gigs a day.
Yeah, you're on
I can
machine.
sing all day long.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a 5-minute chat to me in a noisy room in a set break, I'm in pain for
There are times literally where I will not take a break just because I'm avoiding
talking.
Yeah. Not because I want to talk to the people. I just know if I go over there and spend 15 minutes in the corner having an animated conversation with this, but I'm going to go back and go,
It's hard. Yeah, it's really, really difficult. And I wonder too. So I was going to say, on your days off, technically,
Monday.
Today is a day where you don't have to sing.
Oh, yeah.
You are talking to me. And you've been in meetings all morning. It is really interesting to me just how psychologically the background noise of a space gets you kind of a little bit riled up, and then you get tense here, and then that's what I mean about 5 minutes into talking. You're like, now I'm stressed because because it's Tuesday and I've got 5 gigs.
that is always going through your mind.
Yeah, and
it's okay for them. They'll have a skinful and they're on the weekend, and
they don't sing for a job.
I don't sing for a job. Then they can scream and shout and let it all out. And I have to go and wake up tomorrow and probably stock some shelves.
Yeah.
Probably check the bookings, make a few calls.
But even something.
And then still sit down and put your fabulous face on and entertain.
Something I noticed change instantly, absolutely instantly, when I moved to Lara.
Yep.
So I was living in the city, and I was, surrounded by noise. If I opened my bedroom window at night, I could hear a tram like 500 meters away. There's just always hustle and bustle. And now, then I moved to the country. Effectively, Lara's a little town, but it's effectively the country.
Provincial Victoria.
And
you're in the provinces.
It's quiet.
It's
and
nice.
There's a. Granted, that is the freeway.
Oh.
It sounds like it does sound like the sea a little bit. It sounds like the sea. It's just up in the distance. But there's an element of just being conscious of the what's around you and the sound that's around you, and then how that changes. And people will say to me like, "Oh, that's a bit of bullshit." It's like, I understand, but when you have the change and you go, "Oh no, that's actually real."
It is. It's good. But it's always push and pull in terms of what we do. We need to find a way to wind down.
All things, yeah, though. All things are like that.
Oh, especially, I get so worked up in here.
Yeah.
My issue is staying cool with people. I think the one thing that I'm struggling with
The ones where the drunk ones are leering over the
just
piano.
all of them now, to be honest, when they keep asking for... we've had a couple of holes in the wall here, and one of our performers accidentally put her foot through the wall behind the piano. And all of last week I was making jokes about this is what I did to the last person that asked for the horses. Just throw their head in.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just because I've played those songs every night for the last, how many years, and especially now it's in this context, and you can take the night wherever you want. I'm not playing it because I have to, I'm playing it because you asked me to.
Yeah.
But if you're going to sit there and ask me at 7:30 at night and you're going to keep asking me for half an hour, I'm going to get annoyed with you.
Yeah.
But then that's not my problem. No, it's not their problem. That's my problem. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
that's not a them problem.
How you feel about how.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I should just be nicer.
Yeah, well, that's very good of you. I started Thursday night's gig with the horses. I was like, all right, because I usually here's
It's
my
like a reverse raffle or something.
yeah here's what I do. Because I know what's going to happen. So for anyone who's listening to this is not from Australia, right? You other places in the world probably have the same thing.
Margaritaville is an equivalent for the States, right? If you're a piano player, we ask for that song
all the time.
all the time.
And there's a little bit of that. You and I have spoken about this before, about the last time, not last time, maybe the last 25 times I've been out somewhere and I've gotten this particularly tipsy, and my brain just associates having a good time with these 5 songs. And then the more drunk they get, they can only remember 3 songs. The more drunk they get, they go...
Just one song. Yeah, I love
It's
how
the
you
horses.
send it up on that finger as well.
It's the horses. And, particularly in Melbourne, it is the horses.
Oh, it's Spring Racing Carnival.
And which is actually a wonderful song, originally by Ricky Lee Jones.
Yes, definitely a cover.
And covered brilliantly by Daryl Braithwaite.
I always think to myself, when you're having a tough time, you say, well, there's always someone out there that's got it worse than I do. Imagine being Daryl Braithwaite this time of year.
Well, I'm sure there's an element of that. It's like, I'm sure he's quite appreciative of the fact that he still gets to go out and play.
Well, that's true.
And
there would also be an element of...
I imagine he gets paid incredibly well.
Yes.
To go and sing a song that people associate with him, and
good times in their life as well too.
And he's rocking up he's singing in front of 30 to 90,000 people.
Yep.
And they're loving it. And so I think it's
it is a give and take.
It could be Streets of London.
For
Streets
him. Of London.
Because Ralph McTell, that's
Don
his...
McLean and American Pie.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there are... at least Don McLean had a few others.
Well, that's true.
So
I shouldn't have said that. That's true.
But
that's
Ralph McTell's thing, like the Streets of London, and he gets up on stage still, yes, I'll play it, but I've got other songs, he's got...
Yes. I don't know any of them. I just know Streets of London.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely song.
But I was just saying, so I usually say, as someone says play horse, I go, at 12:56, I will play it. If you're still here, you've invested, I will play it for you.
I've got to
But
go
the reason
home.
I won't play it
You've got to go home.
Yeah.
Is that true? The
reason I won't play it before you is I'll then have to tell everyone else I've already
played it. And the look of disappointment and disdain in their eyes.
But on Thursday, because I'd done 4 nights in a row at this particular place, I was like, I'm just going to play it first.
Yay!
and you guys are good enough to come out this early.
You get it. Here's your little...
And what was funny is no one asked for it for the rest of the night.
Oh.
And even though it was a really transitory crowd...
You must have known something.
I know. I think people say on the way out, it's like, don't ask for the fucking horses.
There's a little sign or a little...
We've already...
Yes, already
played.
played.
It would be great to have a
friend
menu,
of mine, yes.
A blackboard and just cross them off.
It's so funny. He's got this thing on his piano. He works the cruise ships. And it says, when you have days since last accident.
Yes.
So days since I last played Sweet Caroline, Piano Man, the horses.
Right.
And they all have a 0 next to them. It's just written with a 0.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Yeah, that's funny.
I
love it.
Well, embrace it. Make a joke out of it.
Yeah, I think
if you can make light of it, then it's less.
It's like you're saying about the drunk person lingering over your instrument, kind of falling on you a bit. Just like I want you to have a good time. I want to have a good time. And I will play songs for
Yes.
you if I know them. And if I half know them,
I only
I'll
ever
have a
play
crack.
songs I know, just as a.
Oh, I don't.
Well, you do the ones you don't know.
Of course.
Gee, you're amazing.
I'll play anything if I kind of got the chord chart and the lyric in front of me.
Half knowing it counts.
Eh. I do this thing. I go, look, this is what I say. I say,
Fuck this.
look, I've got the internet here. I've never played this song.
Yeah.
I don't know it. Here's what we'll do. I'll start it.
Yeah.
I'll play the first verse. If it's going well, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Right?
if
If I'm screwing it
That's a good idea.
bad,
Try that.
give me a thumbs down.
I'll wait for that at the end.
And I said, and we'll revisit it after the chorus.
Yes.
So, because maybe you've
I'm playing
maybe
the
you've
wrong
heard,
tempo,
Maybe
or-
you've heard the first chorus and now you're done with the song. You
Yeah,
don't really want to
yes,
hear it.
yes.
And it always goes to the point of people going, no, just keep going. Just have a crack. Because
isn't it?
I think Aussies in particular love
nice
a bloke that has a
audience.
crack.
Yeah, true.
Not like a.
Yes, well, that's punters. Every
They
punter
do
has a crack.
prefer you to wear a belt.
Plasterers don't have a crack.
Well, no,
Patch
they
them all
fill
up now,
it in
it's
all the
filled
cracks.
up.
But that really does work for me. And quite often I'll be like, I think I don't know.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's
The great thing about the most, I mean, occasionally there's a song like, like Sings from an Italian Restaurant. It's
Yes.
like, do you know that song? I was like, I love that song. I don't know how to play it. And then you go, do you know what? I'll have a crack. And
but you would nail that. You'd be
hopefully
great at
the
that.
chord chart. I mean, it's a piano song, but hopefully the chord chart on this thing is right.
That'd be great. And you know that inside out.
And
so.
you can kind of go.
People would dig that. They would love that.
They do, yeah, they do. And I think there is a little bit of that when I say that earlier on about there are lots of great musicians that they're phenomenal, and I would say they're much better musicians. Like if I can quantify their ability and their vocal ability, they're much better musicians that play some of the venues I play, but that don't get invited back as much because they have standards. They have a standard where they go they won't risk putting on like doing that lowers the quality of their show.
But that's when you like that little bit of vulnerability. You've
But
won
the
them
quality,
over.
the quality of your show is actually about having a crack.
And they trust you after that too, because they've gone, okay, right, he's shown me a bit of love, so I'm going to show him a bit of love.
Yeah.
And then it just bounces. That's what happens.
Yeah, it
then
is.
you end up with a room that is enjoying it, and it's all because you reach out, and you try. It's important.
Yeah, it's a good lesson that I probably learnt it really back in the research days in the band that we were in, and
You
there
tune
would
your nose
be-
up occasionally at certain songs and stuff.
Well, I
Yes.
certainly was like that a lot more back then. But
Yeah.
what I learnt back then too is if 2 people in the band know the song, there's a really good chance you can follow along because they're driving it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know you would like play something and then Richie would play a beat, right? Like I guess we'll follow you,
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
all right? And then that actually went really well. We should put that in the set.
Yep. Did you find these things out just by trial and error?
Yeah.
And usually by somebody trying to ram a request down you.
I was gonna say usually by error.
Yeah. It's going, more error than trial.
That's true. We like usual, you and I have
So like to
spoken
talk.
for an hour, and we don't. As is the case with this little project I'm doing, I'm getting to chat with people who I have great affection for that I don't, and admiration, and I don't get to see very much because life is what it is, and we all
Yes. That's why Bali was
go-getting.
fun. It was good.
It is. Now,
Enjoyed that
just
a lot.
as we tell us a little bit about, before we finish up, about Piano Bar Colac. Because I know this is, in particular, this is a partnership that you have with your business partner, Aaron.
Yep.
And it's gangbuster, so it's very, very busy, but you decided to kind of buy a place out in Colac
Yeah.
to
Open another one.
take the
This
mountain to
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where he's residing these days.
Colac.
G'day, Mo. Got a mountain. Place sign here.
Some bacon on your head. What do you call a man with bacon on his head?
What?
Mohammed. What do you call a man with 2 pieces of bacon on his head? Mohammed.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's really bad because I said bacon.
No, bacon. That's probably the only reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the buying a building out there, it's a stretch when you look at it on paper. When you go, okay, does this place have anything like this out there? No. Did Joel Creasy just do a big little mini documentary on how he was chased out of Colac due to 8 profoundly homophobic protesters?
Right.
Okay. And do we run 2 or 3 drag shows a week in this venue? Yes. Will there be a problem finding talent? Probably. Should we do it? Absolutely. Hell yes, we should do it. Probably for all of those reasons, right?
Right.
First of all, is there anything down there like it? No, there isn't. But was there anything like it in Geelong before we did it?
No.
No. Do we know from our social media stuff that we get between 150 and 200 visitors a week from Colac? We know that.
Yep.
Right, we know that. So that's the reason why on paper it doesn't look good, but why we should do it. Secondly, we've seen a shift in public opinion about, especially during the same-sex marriage debate, we really stood up as a venue, as a business, and said we believe in this.
Yes.
We've accepted people no matter what their age, no matter what their gender, no matter what their sexuality. We have been an accepting venue, and we have become
Have you seen
known
that
as
as a ripple effect that the public accepts it as well?
Huge, and because everyone's got a gay relative or a gay friend, and they come along with them and they feel accepted. Or I had a girl on Sunday night come up and give me a hug, who's a friend of one of our staff members, to say that she felt so comfortable in here because she's tall. She's 6'5", plays AFLW. Not like the proper professional one, but plays football for a Geelong representative team in the lower league. And just how comfortable she felt, because she's so sick of everyone coming up to her saying, "Oh, gee, you're so tall." Oh, well, and that literally had moved her, because we were accepting of tall people are tallest, heightest, or something. So just because they've had issues with perhaps tolerance or whatever in Colac, and it's been documented, is more of a reason why we could come in there, because it's laws of physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So
wherever there's homophobia, there should be a piano bar.
There's people going, fuck off homophobia. That's what they're saying.
Well, wherever there
this is the thing.
Homophobia, that means there's people who are being persecuted. So that means
and all of their allies and their ally army are our people.
Yes.
Like they're our people, So that's a big tick. The reason why we should do it. Now, talent. Sure, I'm going to have to go down there probably for the first 4 to 6 months every Friday and Saturday night and just drive the bus, just play the piano and just get it going. But I really believe in cometh the man, cometh the hour. We don't know that there's no other piano players that can do
what you guys do
until they come to us with that skill set, or maybe not the whole skill set, and then build on it.
Well, yeah, you might have someone who goes, well, I could do
this. Yeah,
great.
We have 2 staff members, one's our kitchen hand and one's our glassy, who have hour sets ready to go. And you know what? In 3 months' time, that hour's going to be 90 minutes. And this is, for me, what a story that is. You got the young people that used to work in the kitchen who could play a bit and sing a bit and were just inspired.
Well, it's the story of
picked it up.
The CEO.
The McDonald's guy started off.
The guy who runs Village.
Oh, really?
Village Roadshow.
Same dude, I didn't know
he was a cleaner. Yeah.
That's what I want to create. That's what I think is good about this place. So the big 3 reasons why you wouldn't do it is actually the reasons why you should.
Yeah, great.
It's as simple as that.
That's awesome, actually. Do you know, it's really funny how everyone in these conversations has ended around about this time with a great observation and a great perspective. And one of those is find the reasons why you shouldn't do it, and look at the reasons. Look at the opposition.
Oh man,
and
there's so many reasons not to do it.
That's why that's worth doing, or that is how you do that because of that, or in reaction to that, find a way that nullifies the thing you think will
be a hurdle, an obstruction. It actually becomes the reason for existing. I think we only ever exist in opposition to something.
Well, everything. Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely, you don't exist because you're happy. You don't make a change or take a risk because you're happy with everything that's around you in your life. You take a risk because you know that there's something saying to you that we could do this better. Or I want to change. I want to do this. I can see. That's why we do it. That's why we all create.
Yeah.
Something's like it's the old grit of sand in the oyster and it makes a pearl. That's what I know. It's a.
Well, it's the
bit,
the hunger analogy too. It's like you are hungry, so you find something to eat. And then once you've eaten, after a while you're hungry again. It's like if you never have to worry about being hungry, you don't care what you eat.
No, it's true.
It's interesting.
But yeah, that's where we're at.
Great.
And let's watch this space. We're gonna have to make up a lot as we go along down there, though. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you think you'll end up with an offshoot kind of thing, the piano accordion bar?
That'd be hilarious.
Be good. You could. Does the Rheingold still exist?
Yes.
You could buy into the Rheingold.
We could do
piano
that.
accordion bar.
With the old
Rheingold's like a German beer hall.
The old stomach Steinway.
Yeah. That's great. That's really cool. Well, I think we'll finish up there, my friend. Thank you for.
It has been a pleasure. It's always nice.
Almost 20 years.
Yes.
Let's do another 20.
Oh, I'm intending on that.
Yeah. And when we get to that, we'll say
disgraceful.
let's do another 40.
We will start the accordion and guitar bar.
Ah.
That'd be good.
What's a good word? Piano.
Guitorian.
Piano, guitar, word.
I think it'd be good.
Gitano.
Gitana, but it could be a bar that expands as more people get into it. The bellows could. It's just like an accordion. And it's like those buses with the thing in the middle.
Oh, they're good, those things.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. When you're on them, they're quite.
I feel like you could stretch that bus. You could
Well, there's a metaphor.
stretch the bus.
Thank you, mate.
Oh, absolute pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you're a legend. And this is good stuff that you're doing.
It's
good.
Look, I think at least for the two people involved in having the chat, it's been lovely, and I've got quite a lot of feedback from people who've watched individual or multiple ones or listened, and they've said that's really kind of affirmed something that I was concerned about, or given me something to think about. And it's really we don't openly talk about things that maybe we struggle with, or
It's because the music's too loud and it's a set break.
but there's just creative people in general, and even you just saying I'm running a business. I find that's a creative process, and people go like, oh, cool. This is a conversation I had with Simon Emery about. Admin can be a creative process.
It can be.
If you approach it that way, as opposed to thinking, oh, it's just a
Oh,
burden.
yeah, that's
I was
right.
like, well, I was in a position of that's a burden. So maybe I can be creative about it, and then I get something out of it other than just the process of, well, I guess it's good.
You have to be young, yeah.
So it's been this has been really good for the soul, and it's I guess that's why we do stuff.
That's why we do it.
It's creating. So,
That's what we do.
there you go.
That's why we do it.
All right.
On you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Yay. See you, Domza.
I say salada biscuits.
Salada biscuits.
Yeah.
If you like eating saladas and getting caught in the rain.
I really should have learnt how to play piano by now.
You could do it. You've had time. I could do it on
I've had
guitar
time.
too.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
On you, mate.